Alright, so my name is Nantchev, and this channel is all about helping you become a remarkable entrepreneur. So click on the subscribe button below and press the bell notification right next to it for the latest uploads. How cool is that? So listen, what should you spend your time talking about? Let me tell you. Essentially, you want to spend your time on useful stuff. Things that are profitable, things that are worthwhile, things that are going to help you and push you further and forward into life. There's nothing to say that you don't have to spend your time on, useless crap, so to speak. Nothing wrong with that. But it's useless crap in proportion. If you spend your entire life talking about useless crap, then what are you going to become? If you talk about useless crap, you're going to become a piece of useless. You finish the rest. If you talk about good stuff, okay, people talk about you are what you eat, which by the way is freaking true, I must admit, but that's another topic. It's similarly, you are what you consume. Like in here, you are what you think about. Oh fuck, that's very true. That is, you are what you talk about. If you talk about rubbish all the time, you're talking, but you're saying nothing. If you're saying nothing, then what use are you? Talking crap all the time, nothing to it. Any idiot can do that, but are you an idiot? No, of course I'm not. Well, then don't be talking crap then. Talk about something productive. People bitch around a lot. People talk about what was on TV last night or the weather, but it's like there's so much more important stuff. I was reading an article on zero hedge. Yeah, what's zero hedge, you might ask? Well, you might want to Google it and find out, because a lot of interesting topics on there to discuss that's happening in the world. Interesting article about zero hedge, talking about this Saudi prince saying that Bitcoin is Enron in the making. Oh, what's Bitcoin, you might ask? What's Enron? What's that mean? Yeah, well, Google these things. There's an interesting concept called learned helplessness, where it's like people have failed so much, so they just stop trying, and they're just like, they're helpless. And it's like, what's that? What's this? And it's like, well, Google it then, mate. Don't ask me. Google it, mate. I didn't think of that. Maybe you should think more. So, spend your time on productive things, useful things that's going to help you go forward and push you onwards and upwards. Don't waste your time on useless shit. I dated a girl very briefly, and we were going through, I think Tesco at one point, or Sainsbury's, I can't remember. We went past like the magazines, and she wanted to spend quickly, look at the magazines, to look at the gossip news, and it's like you actively go out of their way to look at the gossip, like just spend a few moments like just looking through the headlines. Like, what's the point? What's the use? And as a teacher I used to have years ago that said to me she doesn't watch TV because she would rather focus on her own life as opposed to watching other people live their life. And it's like, oh, you're bloody right. You're bloody right about that. Why spend your time watching things like Big Brother? Or I don't know what else there is. I genuinely, Love Island? I don't know. Because it's just a reality, real life from the 90s, MTV that. Why bother watch that stuff? Forget that. Put something useful on. I know it sounds dogmatic, but finance, business or marketing, open a book. I got a book about Anthony Robbins, Awaken the Giant Within. Whoo! You read that, your entire future will change. If this book takes you, say, 3 hours to read, in those 3 hours you're going to achieve much more, and you've unlocked the potential to achieve much more than if you spent 30 hours watching some sitcom, or not sitcom, but some reality TV show. A waste of time. So you need to spend your time talking about things that are going to push you forward. What's going to test you? What's going to push you? What's going to help you? What's going to help you be profitable? Oh, you tell me, I spend a lot of my time doing research on, not really research, but just watching videos on writing fictional books. I've discovered a YouTube channel where this guy talks about companies and what went wrong. And I was listening about Solo in the States, which is a plastic cup manufacturer. I was watching a little bit about Kmart and a little bit about, who else was there? I can't remember, but a few of the companies here and there. It's like, what went wrong? What went wrong with MTV? They didn't pivot. They didn't go on the on-demand service. Vivo has kind of overtaken them. You know, what went wrong, and it's like just watching these things, like learning and adopting, and it's like, oh, taking lessons from them, because I can watch a 10-minute video on what went wrong. Oh, I can't remember now. There's an interesting company. Oh, I can't remember. Oh, H.H. Gregg, I believe it was. H.H. Gregg. Some furniture company, I think, in the States. So, Radio Shack. I'm watching about Radio Shack and the mistakes they made, where they made bad decisions, like since forever or something, or since the 70s. And it's like, okay, don't do this, don't do that. And in 2 cases, I've heard that a leverage buyout is a good idea, but a bit of a bad decision. Or in these companies, it went bad because Toys R Us, they're going bust recently because they had a big leverage buyout about 10 years ago and they couldn't pay off the loan. What is a leverage buyout, you ask? Well, Google it. There's a great website called investopedia.com. Go on to Google, type a leveraged buyout Investopedia or leveraged buyout Wikipedia, tell you the answers. Something useful, worthwhile knowing. I dated this one woman once, and she was asking me, like, this is like late 2014, and she asked me about, on her phone, the stock exchange stuff, like, what does this FTSE thing mean? What FTSE 100, what does that mean? And I'm like, well, it's a basket, it's an index of different companies, and these worthwhile subjects, you got to know about these things, because the way the world works now is, if you're not understanding how the world works, or understanding how to best profit, or how best be resourceful in this world, in this environment, in this economic structure we happen to be living in, then you're missing out. If we were alive 500 years ago, or 1,000 years ago, our priorities would be completely different. All about warfare, essentially, and survival, like bare bones survival, so to speak. But because we're alive today, our survival is already more or less arguably guaranteed, so now it's a case of what's more important stuff to learn and know about. Okay. It's this, it's that, it's marketing, psychology, it's human interaction, it's reading, it's writing, it's learning, That, a lot of people, as soon as they finish university or college or school or whatever, they stop learning. And it's like, because of life expectancy now, apparently every year, life expectancy increases by 3 months. Whoa. So that means that by the time you're like 80 odd, you're going to be still here. What kind of life is that going to be? Because you're missing out. This is why this channel is called Become Remarkable, because you can become a remarkable person. But what you talk about, what you spend your time consuming, is an indication as to who you are, what your priorities are. If you spend your time learning about smart stuff, then you're going to be a smart person. What did I say earlier? If you talk about useless crap, you're going to be a piece of useless crap. If you talk about smart stuff, you're going to become a smart person, worthwhile, knowledgeable, wise, whatever adjectives you want to use. A guru, teacher, whatever, wise man, whatever, sensei, things like that. Life is too precious to be wasting it. You want to push yourself onwards and upwards to do amazing things with it. I've often talked about how to get extraordinary results, you have to do extraordinary things. 100% true. Everything is cause and effect. If you're looking at a situation now, thinking and you want to get out of it, well then, your current situation is a product of your past decisions. It's an effect. That was the cause, here's the effect today. So if you want tomorrow or next year to be better, you've got to put a new cause into effect so as to make it better. And that's what I'm working on in my personal life. So my question of the day to you is, what do you talk about? And what kind of life are you creating? Or what do you talk about, and what kind of life do you want to create for yourself? What do you talk about? I can talk about more or less anything. I've got a podcast, I can talk about anything for half an hour, 40 or so minutes. Very inquisitive. I talk a lot about business and finance, and marketing and psychology. Writing books and plot, story narrative. I'm writing a fiction book, non-fiction book, and I want to write some fiction in the future. So I talk a lot about that kind of smart stuff. So what do you talk about? And what was the questions? I forgot. What do you talk about? And what kind of life do you want to create? The kind of life I want to create. Big, large family, quite well off, leaving a legacy for my family, and making a dent, a difference in the world, and being a footnote in the history books, making a difference in the world. That's what I want. So, what do you talk about, and what kind of future do you want to create? What kind of future do you want? Comment below. I'm very curious what the answers are. In the meantime, however, click on the subscribe button below and press the bell notification right next to it for the latest uploads, because this channel is all about helping you become a remarkable entrepreneur. How cool is that?